Hello everyone, this is Crode giving you a shoutcasting game 2 in a series between Empire's Kaz and Puma here on Tal'Darim Altar. Kaz spawning as the red Terran this time around, making it a little bit easier for the caster, myself, to not distinguish between light blue and dark blue. Meanwhile, Puma spawning on the top left-hand side of the map as the blue Terran. So this is going to be Terran versus Terran once again, and game one rather interesting. Hellions, Marines, and Banshees to put pressure and just try to deal a lot of damage all off of one gas. A very interesting but rather effective strategy that I do not think Kaz had ever seen or was any way prepared for. Now, one thing that I will point out, I was reading the updated patch notes, and someone did let me know that there has been a change to the 1.4.0 patch notes recently. Infestors can no longer neuroparasite massive units. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that one. As much as I do not like it when a Thor does get mind controlled and get taken over. I'm not 100%. Well, I'm not 100% sure how that will be received by the community, if it was something absolutely necessary or not. Puma once again opening up with that refinery first now. So he'll be able to continue more and more SCV production without any real problems or issues, as we can see a barracks now being built by Kaz. So we'll see whether this gas first build really pays off in the long run. By getting this gas first, you essentially can build your factory the moment your barracks is done, because you are going to be harvesting about 100 gas already in the 60 to 65 seconds that it takes to build this barracks. As soon as this barracks takes even longer to build in the next patch, it will be even more interesting to see how everything will work out. Meanwhile, back over here, command center. Now, just continuing the train, there is no gas at all coming in from Kaz at all. So it is going to be a gasless build, perhaps into a fast expansion, versus a fast gas into fast tech. So Puma, even though this is Tal'Darim Altar, he has not changed his strategy and instead going for very fast tech. Normally this does not work out all too well, but we'll see how or what will go down here. Puma, for some reason, lifting off this barracks. Not quite sure why. He perhaps should have started training a Marine first, as he now should be perhaps getting a supply depot down over here. This one SCV will eventually scout out his opponent, as this command center now in play. Oh, it is going into a reactor with Hellions. So what we're going to see is no early Marines at all. This one factory is going to lift off, take the place of this one barracks here. The only real issue is the build time it takes for a reactor. A reactor takes about 50 seconds, just a little bit more time than a factory. So he's going to lift off, and this factory is just going to be hanging up in the air for just a little while. Guess not. So Puma may just be double training Marines, and perhaps he is now going to be going into a starport as he builds a supply depot down over here. He currently does have a lot of Marines. Excuse me, not a lot of Marines, a lot of SCVs, and now, oh, this one SCV going to be sitting here trying to block the reactor, but a Hellion already underway. Is the factory going to take its place? Yes, it is going to take the place, and this one scouting SCV will get destroyed. Back over here, two Marines able to meet and greet Puma's SCV. SCV does get taken down as well, both sides, and dealing a little bit more damage. But Puma now playing pretty much in the dark right now. This is something that you do not want to have, or do not want to be in the situation of, as your opponent pretty much knows exactly what you're going for, and you don't know what your opponent has just quite yet. There is going to be, what, 4 Marines and a bunker now set up. The Hellion taking the long way around, making sure to be able to scout out and be able to see if there's any sort of bunker placement. He's going to come in this location here. Perhaps he's going to shoot some and get some damage onto an SCV. No, he is not going to damage the SCV, deciding to back off here, and getting a little bit of splash damage. The Marines have to be careful, though. If they gather up a little bit too much, that may be a problem. But there are now 3 Hellions, and the 3 Hellions able to shut down one Marine, and now another Marine also in the red. But now with this one bunker, Kaz is going to just barely make it out of there. If those Hellions had attacked different targets, or perhaps had lined up against these 2 Marines, this would be a completely different story, as we are now going into Blue Flame Hellions. We are also going into a starport as well. I believe these Hellions need to be retreated and repaired. There was already 1 Hellion back home, another Hellion being added as well. So it is going to be 4 Hellions making their way out, and really Puma taking a lot of map control at this point. Very nice strategy in order to make sure that his opponent doesn't move out without his knowledge. You can see activating 2 Xel'Naga Watchtowers could easily activate more as Puma finally gets his expansion up and running as well. 31 SCVs compared to 25. Puma a little bit behind. You can see Kaz now back over here getting up a lot of supply depots. He has an engineering bay, so he may be setting up a missile turret, or he just may want to get the level 1 weapons upgrade. He hasn't really scouted out his opponent to know what is going to be going down. But Puma will be opening up into a medevac drop. There is a starport out over here. We can see the blue flame research has been completed, or at least I hope it has. Otherwise, that would be a horrible, horrible time to lift off. Yes, it has been completed. So 4 Hellions going to make their way and run into this position in just a moment. Kaz also setting up a missile turret here. So with a missile turret here, perhaps it will intercept a Banshee, or even better yet, take down the medevac that wants to try to do a drop. It looks like another missile turret being hidden in the bushes. Very, very difficult to spot, unless, yeah, even when you rotate the camera, it's very difficult to spot. So we'll see what's going to come of that, as the Hellions are now going to be jumping inside the medevac. The medevac are going to be landing right here, or unloading the units right there, and we'll see what's going to be happening. Puma already dropping those Hellions. 4 Hellions on the way as they move out. It looks like the SCVs are already trying to run. They're already trying to split up. You can see the mineral line is pretty much already scarcely populated here, as SCVs are getting destroyed left and right. There is 1 siege tank, though. All the trees also on fire, as well as the Hellions continue to find more and more workers. Are they going to find the workers hidden off over here? No, they are not. But once again, another Hellion drop over here, or perhaps a Hellion run by over here, able to get some damage, and the total worker kills 14. 14 total worker kills, and now Puma with the lead on Harvesters, 41-34. Now, Hellion now moving around over here. It looks like there is a medevac as well. The Hellion not sure where it can really go. I'm not sure either. The missile turret did not, I believe the missile turret was actually spotted. Yes, so Puma knows not to try to engage right there. And it looks like it is just going to be another 2 Hellion drop right into this location. And I never realized how funky this supply depot looks. And right there, as we see Hellions dropping into the main, or this natural expansion once again, is getting a lot of damage, and even some friendly fire causing some problems from that siege tank there, getting a little bit more damage as the medevac decides to back off. Now, Puma has a number of options at this point. He can either continue this harassment, or he can try to transition into something else. This harassment is not meant to win the game. It is meant to just buy time forever, what he's really trying to do. And what he's trying to do looks like is going to heavy siege tanks with Vikings. Vikings for that air superiority. Whenever you have air superiority and have a sight on your opponent, especially in a tank versus tank war, the damage really starts to rack up. We are going to have a medevac perhaps try to do another drop, and it's going to be a drop from the north. The Marines are already in this position. Is it going to be enough? The Marines are now dropping in over here. One blue flame Hellion, 2 blue flame Hellions, getting off a lot of Marine kills. That exchange right there, not the absolute best for Kaz, as Kaz loses 3 Marines to 1 Hellion. And that was a very, very nice unable to get that final shot off there. There are still 2 Hellions here, and Vikings are finally on the move. More Vikings still being trained up. Total Marine count and unit count, you can see that on the top left-hand side of the map. Also a nice scouting farm or scouting depot over here along the back door, making sure to reveal what's happening on over there, or going on over there. You can see a refinery, siege tanks, Marines. Kaz still really pretty much just playing very defensively. He hasn't really broken out of this mindset in order to do anything aggressive just quite yet. Kaz will be able to establish this expansion over here, but there's a very large army from Puma now knocking on the front door. Siege tanks are also engaging as well. Both sides going to battle it out, but there is this one Raven. And that Raven, if it drops a point defense drone, the siege tanks have free reign into this ground here. This is going to be a definite problem. A point defense drone has been added. Kaz knows not to try to engage. That is an absolute nightmare, as these siege tanks are still over here. What is going to be happening? Vikings now going into ground mode. That is not what they want to be doing. Vikings just absolutely get destroyed by siege tanks. So, but we can see that this natural expansion is pretty much already getting destroyed here. And now in comes the battle point defense drone in the air, intercepting a lot of the attacks from the Marauders and also the missile turrets coming, or Marauders from the high ground as well. And Puma able to clean this up rather easily, jump back up onto the high ground, and now perhaps destroy this orbital command. Orbital command is starting to get shelled a little bit more there, and there's the GG by Kaz. So Puma taking game 1 and game 2 rather easily. Very, very impressive play by Puma. Puma also expanding into this third base and also this base as well. So not far behind in terms of economy, even though he did expand a little bit late. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.